It looks like it's Arsenal against Man City. City, the favourites, game in hand, 1 point behind. Arsenal starting early. They've got Bournemouth, Manchester City. They're late on Saturday against Wolves. Before we chat about these two games, let's hear from the two managers that are in charge of the top two teams.
Just focus and put all your energy and focus in finding that determination and that willingness to do our best to earn the right to win games. And the first one is Bournemouth. It's at home. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere again towards the game, and just be present and be in the moment, and let's see what happens. It's what it is. We played in many different scenarios this season, and we are clear. Our job is clear. We have to win our game, and then we have to wait, and the only thing that we can focus on is on that.
When everybody's fit, everybody has to be ready. I don't know exactly what they're going to do tomorrow. Of course, I know have a little doubts for one or two players in the lineup, but the rest, the game plan and what I want to do, I had time to think about it and see the last games from Wolves, and yeah, but he's ready. Yeah.
To come into the Premier League and know what he's done, huge credit to him, the coaching staff, and the players. Obviously, they have a difficult start. They kept doing what they believed in, and huge credit. It's unbelievable what they've done in the manner that they've done it as well, which is, in my opinion, very important as well. And yeah, congratulate them, because it's a fantastic achievement.
So on paper, it looks like it should be a comfortable 3 points. But Mikel Arteta there, Janusz, ending by praising Bournemouth Andoni Iraola, who, if you remember, wasn't able to get his assistant over because of visa problems. And a lot of people were saying, Gary O'Neill, why is he being made the scapegoat? So the decision was taken for Iraola. He's done well. How big a threat are Bournemouth for Arsenal in the early kickoff?
Well, of course it will be. I mean, the threat is in the heads of the Arsenal players, right? And we talk about this journey for Arsenal. And you know, in the past, we've talked about the journey of Liverpool when they came within 1 point, the 98, 97. I continue to say this because I think it's important. You have to learn how to be champions. For Arsenal last season, I think we all knew that they weren't quite ready. They are right now. As I've said, and I'll repeat it again, I think for me, Arsenal's been the best team this season in the Premier League. That's proven by the statistics. I think the way they play, the identity has never changed. I'm not saying that Manchester City's changed, but certainly this is not the same Manchester City at their best, which in itself is great for City, that they still can find the ways to motivate themselves and play at such a level. But I think if Arsenal were to win this, I don't think nobody would question that, because they work hard and they absolutely would have deserved it. But I'm sticking with Manchester City. It's going to be game by game. This is not going to be easy, because that pressure is going to be immense. I think Manchester City at home will take care of a Wolves. So it's a week by week, I suppose. And we've said it, right? It's Arsenal going to Old Trafford against United, and perhaps Manchester City going away to Spurs. But Spurs, after what we've seen against the hammering against Newcastle, losing to Arsenal, and now just losing yesterday to Chelsea, I wonder if this is the moment that Pep Guardiola guess what? First win, maybe even first goal at that stadium. So I don't know. I still think it's Manchester City to lose.
We'll speak about City in a second and their game against Wolves. I just love the thought of Arsenal fans supporting Spurs against Manchester City. It's this stage of the season. You always support your own team and usually another team, depending on who is playing. Question for you, Rob. What's the harder game for Arsenal? Home to Bournemouth or away to Manchester United, which is their next fixture?
United. And that might seem strange because United aren't playing particularly well. But you can imagine that the Arsenal dressing room is looking at those next three games thinking, if we can get through that United game, that's the one. It's dangerous. You know, United haven't been playing well, but they have on occasion turned it on against the bigger teams. You know, Liverpool drew 2-2 at Old Trafford. Arsenal lost there last season. City lost there last season. You know, it is a game late in a title race fraught with danger. United are particularly unpredictable. You can see Arsenal going there and winning 3 or 4-1. You can also see it ending in a draw, or United even nicking a win. But I think Arsenal, you know, obviously they're not going to get ahead of themselves. They're not going to be looking beyond Bournemouth, because why would you? But I think Arsenal fans and maybe a couple of those players in the dressing room are looking at that Man United game thinking that is the one, particularly because City have got to go to Spurs, and City's record at Spurs is absolutely dreadful. And even though Spurs aren't playing well, again, you'd be looking at those games thinking that's where this is going to be won and lost.
Okay, Janusz, what's Ivan Toney and the Etihad got in common? Why would I be bringing up his name at this time while previewing Man City Wolves?
I don't, because you looked at the stats that I'm, as always, unaware of. You tell me.
He was the last player to score the winning goal for an away team at Manchester City in the Premier League. He scored in the 90th minute, one of 2 goals that he scored in November 2022. So it's been a while since City tasted defeat at home. Even a draw would be a sore one to take. They're not going to slip up against Wolves, are they?
No, I don't think so. I mean, again, strange things do happen. Every one of us is probably thinking that there's going to be twist in all of this, because that's what usually happens, and you just don't know where. And it very often comes in matches that you don't expect. We were just talking about the big ones because they pick themselves, of course, right? United have a reason to play, right? All those players are for re-election, and being in front of Erik ten Hag or maybe a new manager. I mean, it's an embarrassing season or possibility of one. So I think knowing that they're not in the Champions League, I think that you're going to see United responding just a little bit towards the end of the season. That very often happens. In terms of Wolves, I just think City in particular at home and in general, I just eyes on the prize. There's history to be made. Obviously, winning 4 Premier League titles in a row. It's been their decade. It's been incredible, right? There are comparisons in terms of Manchester City to Sir Alex Ferguson, the old Liverpool matches. There'll be talk about who's the greatest team ever. So in England and all of that. And I think I also think that for Manchester City and 1 or 2 or 3 key players, this may be the end of the road for them as well. So you always want to finish on a good note. I don't think Wolves should pose a problem there.
Rob, any issue whatsoever as far as Arsenal are concerned or Man City are concerned that Arsenal are playing first, then Man City? Because next weekend it's City first up when they go to Fulham, and then Arsenal aren't in action until the Sunday when they go to Old Trafford. So I suppose, eeksy peeksy, it's fair this weekend, and then it swaps around next weekend. Yeah,
I mean, the managers would always tell you that it doesn't matter, but these title races come down to such fine margins that you never know. If Arsenal win that game against Bournemouth in the early kickoff, and then City are playing the late kickoff against Wolves, yeah, of course, the City players will be well aware of that Arsenal result. They may have a little bit of more of a spring in their step if they know that Bournemouth have gone in there and nicked a point and they're even further, or have a bigger advantage in the title race. If Arsenal were to win, the pressure is on a little bit more that City, have to do the job against Wolves. All these little things matter. Managers and players will tell you that they don't, but when you get to this stage of the season, these really tight title races where it's coming down to the odd point or the odd goal, every little thing matters. If Arsenal can put the pressure on in the morning by beating Bournemouth and beating Bournemouth well, the pressure will then be on City. That the problem is with this City team is that they know exactly how to deal with this. They've been here so many times before. They've been in this situation so many times before with a core of players who have done it again and again and again. Obviously, this comment now is going to come back to bite me, but they just don't lose games at this stage of a season when there are titles on the line. History has shown that. That's why they've won the last 3 Premier League titles, and they're going for a record 4th in a row.
Both title contenders in action on Saturday this weekend. Liverpool take on Spurs on Sunday.